Please welcome Paula the Swedish Housewife.
Hi, how is everybody doing? It is distinctly my pleasure to be presenting this award, and I prepared notes, but I'm not using paper because I'm kind of a technical girl now, which is funny. There's so much I want to say, and I'm going to try to remember to say all of it. I first met Scott Ewalt 25 years ago. He carried me onto stage. That's how I met him. I had blown out my knee in a performance in a show a couple nights before, and he had to carry me on stage. And the reason I bring that up and why that's important is that is why Scott is being awarded this Sassy Lassy, or in this case, Sassy Laddie, tonight. And it is because of his generous support to the burlesque community and to the Burlesque Hall of Fame. Scott's love of burlesque dates back to his impressionable youth in San Diego, which is to say, the ladies who grace the marquees of that city's burlesque houses and the racier theaters that made quite an impression upon him. In the years since, he's tracked down and connected with many of the women who inspired him, and they resulted in deep and lasting friendships. The quintessential field guide to wild birds of burlesque, Scott Ewalt's knowledge of their art and history, and his boundless love and joy and respect for them as individuals. He is revered, and his reverence is not limited to the ladies. And those of you who know Scott know that, and has had the good fortune to maybe visit his home, would be aware that he is also the consummate archivist of burlesque. And his home is ultimately a shrine to the otherwise underexposed subject matter, from the highbrow origins of the, gay Paris to the seedier side of Times Square. Scott has also contributed greatly as a DJ, and I would like to have the house lights come up for a minute. I want every performer who has danced to a Scott Ewalt mix to raise their hands. Every year, Scott personally creates a majority of the mixes for our legends, and he has a signature gong, which I'm sure you heard a few times this weekend. But his DJ contributions, they're not limited to the burlesque community. In 1990, he was hired by Terry Mugler to create the soundtrack for his fashion show, Burlesque, featuring none other than Diana Ross and the soon-to-be First Lady of France. So he also has created the legendary pool party, which started in Hallandale. And I think that anyone who is at Binion's can testify that they probably experienced a beach blanket bingo movie to its fullest extreme. So without further ado, I would like to present this award to Scott Ewalt. And Scott is an amazing artist. These are some of his artworks that you are looking at, and they are, well, you tell them about your artwork.
All I know, it's really bright on this side of the light. I'm not used to this. I just really wanted to dedicate this to a handful of people that kind of paved the road from my childhood to Exotic World, and International Crisis and John Sex were really the two that made me believe that it was possible for this fantasy of old-time burlesque to still be viewed. And the first show I ever went to see was Kit Natividad. at the recommendation of Katie Kay and John Sex. And then after that, I met Paula and Laura Herbert, and the five of them really encouraged me to keep going and keep collecting and to keep having late night phone calls with all the incredible ladies I've gotten to talk to, and a couple of gentlemen, and even a monkey. So thank you so much for this. I really appreciate it. And